So here we are at about the halfway point of our weekend session. It's been a beautiful day to practice. And we have a nice group. We had a few people leave after the morning. They're going to be back tomorrow morning, but they had some things they needed to take care of. 3 people who had to go. And we also had a nice introduction session that was held in between the interstices of our session here. So there's been really nice practice energy of all different depths and maturities. So for my talk today, I wanted to continue with our theme of Ango, practicing non-knowing. And we're focused in this month on practicing non-knowing of others, intimacy with others. So a couple of weeks ago, I gave a Dharma talk on this theme, and I presented a koan from our tradition, which shared an encounter between Master Isan and Master Ryutetsuma, an older woman master who lived nearby and was formerly Isan's student. And this was a very short encounter, but very powerful and evocative encounter between these two quite awakened beings, and how they had this exchange with each other from a place of playfulness, real not knowing of the other. And afterwards, in our discussion, a few people commented on how, well, this was an encounter between 2 awakened beings, and maybe it wasn't so relevant to their everyday life, or something to that effect. And maybe they were kind of a little dissatisfied with this particular encounter. But I think everybody did respect the depth of the Dharma, particularly with respect to non-knowing of others, how to meet someone. So today I want to share a koan that presents a teaching around meeting others who certainly, you would say, are not awakened. And let us appreciate something of this. This is Book of Equanimity, case 58. The Diamond Sutra's Reviling. Attention. The Diamond Sutra says, if someone is reviled by others, it is because that person has acquired negative karma in a previous existence. Because of this past falling into evil ways, they are reviled by people in this life. And in being reviled, the karma of the past will be exhausted. Wow. So this is heavy Dharma, huh? The preface to this case says, depending on a sutra to understand a principle is making false accusations against the Buddhas of the 3 times. Departing from even one character of a sutra is the same as devil's talk. Does a person who isn't regulated by cause and who doesn't enter into effect still receive karmic consequences? So interesting in the preface here, we can't depend on the sutra, the Diamond Sutra in this place, to understand the principle. But we also can't deviate one character from the sutra. All right. So let's get into it. On face value, the literal understanding of the sutra, the part of the sutra that's presented here, might appear to say, well, we deserve what we get, right? Everyone deserves what they get. If you're reviled, it's past karma. Okay. So to me, this is not understanding the principle. if you take the sutra literally in that way, because that's not what it's saying. It's asking us to investigate situations where we are being reviled and we're being met with other people, others who hold judgments against us. And it's really giving us a dharma for how to work with that. The last line of the case, the main case, is, in being reviled, the karma of the past will be exhausted. This is the key. In being reviled, the karma of the past will be exhausted. One of the commentaries on the web on this koan has this quote from Martin Luther King. Apparently said, I didn't verify this, but unearned suffering is redemptive. About this koan. Unearned suffering is redemptive. So the koan, the literal reading of the koan is kind of like, well, you deserve the suffering, you've earned it. But this is more about Martin Luther King's wisdom. Unearned suffering is redemptive. But how? How do we take it? You know, is it automatically redemptive? No, it isn't. It isn't. In being reviled, the karma of the past will be exhausted. It means you have to really be reviled. You have to accept that. Really accept it. This isn't easy to do. From your awakened understanding, non-knowing of self, we can enter into these relationships where we're faced with judgment, unfair judgment, anger, hostility, whatever it may be. Not only with acceptance, but with openness and inquiry into the mystery of cause and effect. Because, hey, maybe there is something in a previous life that created this condition for you. Certainly conditions, both within you, within those who are reviling you, are all bearing fruit now. Everything that's manifesting is the fruit of karmic consequences. Everything. Shishin Roshi, in his commentary on this case, he mentions this story of a teacher who was actually a student of the Buddha. His name was Funda. And I remember working on this koan and being quite almost intimidated by this man's patience and awakeness, his enlightenment. So this Funda was he was a merchant, and he heard the Buddha speaking, and he was so impressed, so he immediately became a student and a devotee, and he eventually attained arhatship, and he was universally recognized as a very wonderful and kind man. So as he had reached a certain maturity in his practice, the Buddha actually told him to go to the west of India and to teach. But the Buddha added, the people who live there are very rough and mean people. If they insult you, what are you going to do? And Funda replied, I will consider them very good people because they don't hit or kick me. The Buddha said, well, what if they do hit and kick you? How are you going to react? Funda said, I'll still think they're good people because they don't beat me with sticks or throw stones at me. You see where this is going. The Buddha said, if they do beat you with sticks or throw stones, what would you do? Funda said, I would still think they're good people because they don't injure me with a dagger or a knife. Again, an arms race going on here, but Funda meets it every time. And the Buddha says, what if they do that? How would you react? He said, I still think they're good people because they don't kill me. Finally, the Buddha said, if they try to kill you, what will you do? And Funda said, I'll still appreciate them. Among the Buddha's disciples are many who are willing to die, willing to end their lives because life is so painful. If they are going to take my life, I will be glad to let them. The Buddha said, if you have that much patience, your mission will be successful. And apparently it was successful. So to me, this is the real profound practice of non-knowing of others, to meet others with that spirit. Boy, not easy. I can't say that I'd be able to meet these conditions with this spirit. It's certainly a high practice. But I think this is it. Right? You really don't know all the karmic consequences that are in play. Certainly not those that are in play within those people. You know, for the most part, you don't know. Even in this lifetime, let alone previous lifetimes, what has conditions have come together to create whatever they're manifesting towards you. We tend to take everything very personally, and we go right away to what does this mean for me? How is this affecting me? And we get very defensive and then critical. And maybe even self-judgmental. Right? So in being reviled, when it's saying, in being reviled, your karma is exhausted. The karma of the past is exhausted. That doesn't mean, well, I'm going to revile myself. That revulsion is merited. That's not it at all, right? And we can go there. We can go there. Oh, they must be right. So that triggers the shame complex that so many of us carry. So working with this this dynamic presented to us by others is a very deep practice that can elicit our own self-understandings, our own attachments to ourself. The Dalai Lama famously said when he first started teaching Westerners, he was just shocked by the amount of self-hatred that he found in people in the West. And, I'm sure we all see this and perhaps feel it within ourselves. Cultural signals are very strong, telling us that we're not enough, we're not sufficient, we're not wealthy enough, pretty enough, healthy enough, kind enough. While the culture itself doesn't support those qualities for the most part. So there's a great sickness of that, and we have to watch out for that. Because we're all being triggered all the time with our judgments towards each other. But can we practice this way of being with those judgments? To really meet this type of judgment or ill will with real non-knowing, no defense, and even an openness of heart, where Funda keeps saying, well, I consider them good people. I consider them good people. Not I'm just going to put up with them. Or, thank you for being my enemy. I'll turn the other cheek. God damn, I hate this person. But I'm humble. I'm going to show them moral high ground. No, really, really see the goodness. In the biggest sense, right? The perspective has to open very wide. It has to open very wide. It can't be limited to the personal story, the personal drama. You can't. Mm-mm. So can we practice this? So many opportunities to practice this in life. Oh, that person at work got mad at me. The initial response is you perhaps get mad back, right? If it's unearned, let's say it's unjustified in your eyes, it's unfair, right? Immediately, can you say, oh, well, at least they didn't, fire me. At least they didn't punch me. Imagine Funda almost had a smile on his face saying that, well, at least they didn't. And then escalate it in your mind, right? We can practice that. Or with your partner, right? Well, she yelled at me, but at least she didn't hit me. Well, she hit me, but at least she didn't kill me. Now I've tried this practice, and it's not easy. Yeah, it takes patience. It takes a lot of patience. And patience is one of the paramitas, a very profound paramita. I think we say that dana, generosity, is kind of the first and most inclusive paramita. But there's some dharma that says that Buddha considered patience to be the biggest and best, maybe the most practically powerful of the paramitas. But in any case, patience is essential for growing in the Dharma. It's essential for awakening. So you don't fight being reviled. You accept yourself and accept others non-judgmentally and wholeheartedly. That's the practice of non-knowing. This is my expression today. I don't want to be definitive, but what I'd like to offer you today, a practice of non-knowing. Accepting yourself and accepting criticisms of others. Not only with just a grudging acceptance, but with even gratitude for your life and their life. And there's so much intimacy that arises in that. You're really taking in all of the karmic causes within yourself and within them as well. Your view opens up quite dramatically. And this exhausts karma. This really does exhaust karma. Yeah. So unexhausted karma produces more karma. Karma produces karma. Right? That's one of the things about karma. Cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. The verse says they are melded. Cause and effect are melded together. Success and failure are melded together. Okay. Continuously unfolding. But if we fully embrace the karma, fully embrace it, fully see it, fully be it, accept it, understand it if you can, open up to the conditionality, to the messiness of your life, to the messiness of others' lives, and analyze it. Just really feel it, accept it, be present to it. That's redemption. That produces less unconscious karmic unfolding, which produces suffering. Practicing non-knowing intimacy with others, all together with intimacy with self and intimacy with world, all connected. Okay, those are my words for today. Hope this has been a nice spice for you in today's practice day. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.